You walk into a room and something's off. People who used to be warm are cool. A friend gives you a strange, searching look. Someone you barely know seems to have already decided something about you, and slowly it dawns on you. A story has arrived before you did. Somebody has been talking, carefully, sympathetically to everyone but you, and the version of you that's circulating is one you wouldn't recognize. That's today's tactic. It's called a smear campaign, and the helpers recruited to spread it are sometimes called flying monkeys. Today, I'll show you how it works, how to recognize it, and the part that matters most, how to protect your reputation and your people without losing yourself in the process. The careful note first, as always, I'm not diagnosing anyone, and not every piece of unflattering gossip is a coordinated campaign. Sometimes people just talk, and sometimes criticism of you is fair. We'll come back to that. We're watching a pattern of behavior, not labeling a person. Here's the idea underneath it. When someone's behavior can't survive being seen clearly, they have two options: change the behavior or change the story. A smear campaign is choosing to control the story. By getting to other people first, as the calm, concerned, wounded one, they set the frame before you even know there's a frame. Then, if you ever do speak up about what actually happened, it lands as exactly what they predicted. See, so dramatic, so difficult, just like I told you. Your own reaction gets preloaded as more evidence against you. So here's the one thing I want you to carry out of this video. A smear campaign isn't really about lying to other people. It's about isolating you, cutting you off from the people who might reflect reality back to you, so that the only version of events left standing is theirs. The target isn't your reputation. The target is your support. Let me show you how to recognize it because it works in the shadows. The first tell is the cool room. People treating you differently for reasons no one will say out loud. A sudden, unexplained distance from someone who has no direct problem with you, as if they're reacting to something you were never in the room for. When the temperature changes and nobody will tell you why, a story has usually gotten there first. The second tell is the messenger. This is the flying monkey part. Someone, often a genuinely well-meaning person who's been fed a one-sided story, arrives to relay a message, or to gently interrogate you, or to talk you into just apologizing or reaching out. They may not even know they're being used. But notice when you keep getting approached by third parties carrying someone else's agenda, the conflict has been outsourced. The third tell is the flattering self-portrait in the story. In the version going around, the other person is always the reasonable one, the patient one, the victim doing their best with difficult you. It's a suspiciously clean narrative with a clear hero and a clear problem, and the problem is always you. Real conflicts are messy and two-sided. A story where one person is spotless is usually a story that's been managed. So how do you protect yourself? 3 moves. The first move, and it's the counterintuitive one, is don't launch your own campaign back. Every instinct screams to run around correcting the record, to tell your side to everyone, to prove you're not what they said. Resist it. Frantically defending yourself to a dozen people tends to look exactly like the unstable person you were painted as, and it drags you down to running the same game. You don't clear your name by shouting. You clear it by being, steadily and over time, obviously not the caricature. Let your actual conduct be the rebuttal. The second move, keep your real people close and let them see the real you. A smear campaign only works to the degree it isolates you. The antidote isn't a press tour. It's depth with the few who actually know you. The people who've watched how you live don't need a rebuttal. They have years of direct evidence, and no secondhand story competes with that. Protect those relationships. Invest in them. Let them be the ones who reflect reality back to you when the fog rolls in. That circle is what the whole tactic is trying to pry you away from. The third move, with the messengers, decline the relay gently and don't take the bait. When a flying monkey shows up carrying the conflict, you don't have to argue your case to them or send a message back through them. A calm, kind, boring non-answer. That's between me and them, and I'd rather not put you in the middle. Refuses the game without making an enemy of a person who may just be caught up in it. You're not fighting the messenger. You're just not enlisting in the war being run through them. Now, the important limit, and it's a real one, not every bad thing said about you is a smear campaign. Sometimes people are genuinely talking because you did something worth talking about, and the grown-up, self-respecting move is to ask honestly, is there truth in this? A smear campaign is the specific pattern, a coordinated, one-sided story spread to isolate you that doesn't match your actual conduct. It's all just a smear campaign, cannot become the thing you say to avoid ever facing real feedback. The tell is the isolation, and the too clean narrative, not merely that someone criticized you. And here's the honest, gentle part. Being the subject of a whisper campaign is a uniquely lonely thing, because the ground you'd normally stand on, other people knowing who you are, is exactly what's being pulled out. It can make you feel crazy, like you have to prove your own decency to stay in the room. You don't. The people worth having will know you by how you actually are, not by a story someone else wrote about you. Your job was never to win over everyone who heard the rumor. It's to keep being someone the rumor can't survive contact with. Here's the close, same as always. This is education, not therapy, and not a diagnosis of anyone. If you're isolated and afraid because someone is controlling the story about you and turning people against you, that's worth talking through with real support, not just a video. For immediate emotional crisis, call or text 988. For domestic violence support, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Text START to 88788 or visit thehotline.org. So the next time the room goes cool and a story you didn't write arrives ahead of you, don't grab a megaphone. Stay steady. Keep the people who actually know you close, and let your real, boring, consistent self be the thing no rumor can hold up against. You can't control the story everywhere. You can be someone the truth eventually catches up to. Next video, the hardest, most practical question this whole channel keeps circling. How do you actually hold a boundary with someone who treats every no as the start of a negotiation? Subscribe so it's there when you need it.